Hi, howdy, welcome back. It's been a couple days. If you saw my last video, I reviewed Melt Cosmetics Smoke Session. Should probably be obvious in the title. And I'm going to talk to you right now about how actually that went. But first, if this is your first time here, feel free to reach down and hit subscribe or like or both, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, so my last video was actually on Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions, and as you saw from the video, I had some definite issues putting it on. It went on patchy, it did not want to blend, it didn't even want to come out of the pans. It had basically turned to something that was very similar to putty the more I tried to manipulate it. Okay, so I'm like, okay, the Melt Cosmetic Smoke Sessions is $49 before tax in the US. It is not a cheap palette, it is not a cheap company. Now the colors were magnificent, but that doesn't really mean anything if I can't apply it. So I reached out to Melt Cosmetics and I'm like, look, I have a problem. This is what's going on with my palette. Help. So it took 2 days for them to get back to me. Was not super impressed, but I do understand a lot of their business is being done by email, especially with COVID. Okay, their customer service was definitely lacking. Basically, it was so sorry, take it back to the Sephora you bought it at and return it there. Good luck, kind of deal. Was not exactly what I would call good customer service, and I work in retail. Good customer service is like 90% of my job. So I was more than a little like, what? I mean, you're not even asking anything about the product or how long I've had it or anything like that. I was a little thrown. They were clearly done with it. And then they sent me an email, well, what did you think of our exchange? And I was like, I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't great. It was terrible. In fact, as customer service went, it was just absolute, I mean, like it's a $50 palette after tax. And I can't even use it. What good are amazing colors if I can't use it? What good is a company's customer service department if they cannot even deal with their customers about this? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just me. So I'm a part of a couple of Facebook beauty groups, Beauty Makeup Addict, Beginning Makeup, all these kind of different groups. And just because I do like to see what other people do, I'm sorry, my contact is just bugging out. Anyway, I'm part of all these groups. So I actually sent out a message to all the groups I'm a part of, and I'm like, hey, does anybody else have this palette? Is anybody else running into this problem? How are you dealt with customer service? Basically, it boiled down to, yes, this is apparently everybody who's gotten this palette that responded was like, yeah, we all had that problem. It did not come out. It was a really bad palette. The colors were amazing, but the formula just really blew. And most of them told me they took it back to the place they bought it at. The few that said they dealt with the company directly said customer service was beyond lacking. And I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. So after waiting the 2 days and getting the less than great thing and then discussing it with some of the other folks on these groups, I ended up turning around, getting a hold of Sephora. It's not like I can take it back to the store I bought it in. My state, last I looked, had 4 open Sephoras. Only 4 have reopened. I looked it up online to see if I could take it back to an in-store, potentially trade it or whatever. I looked it up online. 4 in my entire state. The closest one is literally a 2-hour drive away. I would pay more in gas to return this palette than I paid for the palette at that point. I mean, it would be almost just there and back. So what the fudge? So no, I did not end up returning it to my local Sephora. I got a hold of Sephora. They said, well, mail it back to us because I did purchase it through the app online. They're like, mail it back to us and we'll refund you. I'm like, I don't even want an exchange. This is just as bad a palette as can be. And I ended up leaving that kind of review on Sephora.com. But Sephora was real quick to turn around. Like, I got a hold of them, I did call them, I did email them, and they were very fast. And they were like, you know what, get it in the mail, we'll get it back to you, like, we'll get your money back as soon as possible. And I have been able to track this package the whole way. Like, I know there has been a lot of criticism of Sephora, especially with what's going on with COVID, but when it came down to it, the company that either way charges you $49 for their palette couldn't be bothered to ask any questions, couldn't be bothered to really deal with it. And basically they were like, you know what? Too bad. Take it back to where you got it. Bye. Kind of deal. And it's like, so one, Melt Cosmetics has definitely lost me as a customer in the future. End of story. And two, Sephora actually was so quick to respond and so good about it. I'm like, okay, this is actually the customer service I was expecting. I mean, this is literally what I was looking for. And I don't think I would have been as annoyed, as frustrated with Melt Cosmetics' response or lack thereof, their lack of customer service, if I hadn't run into a problem with another cosmetics company that I ordered from, who in less than an hour responded to my email, fixed the problem, and mailed out the issue. It's called Makeup Geek. Okay, their quads are only $15. It's not expensive. It's actually a really cute quad, and I am going to be making a video about what I did order from them. But I had ordered 2 quads from them because I was looking to try their brand. I mean, they had colors I liked, and I'm like, yeah, let's try something new. When the package arrived, only one of the 2 quads were in there. And I contacted the company. They were so fast on the response. That was the kind of customer service I was looking for. When I compared a company that was selling me a palette for $50 as opposed to a company that was selling me a quad for $15, the company that responded the best, the fastest, the best customer service was literally the cheaper one. The more expensive one that's got a better distribution, everything, couldn't be bothered to take the time. So I guess in the end, that was the end result. I'm done with Melt Cosmetics. I mean, one time and I'm done. I mean, I would have been willing to try another one of their palettes or potentially do an exchange if I hadn't gotten such bad customer service from the company itself. I mean, if you're making a product, you should stand behind it to some point. And I mean, even if you're not looking to lose the money off of this palette, at the very least, you should have conversed more with the customer. You should have dealt more with them, figured out what the problem was, seen if this is an ongoing issue, although as I found out, it was. So I guess in the end, my end review from the Melt Cosmetics was don't buy it. They don't stand by their product. They don't do squat when it comes to customer service. Just don't. I mean, the colors are beautiful, but if the formula doesn't work, there's no point. Okay, thought I would give you guys an update as to how that went. Thank you, and have a nice night. Remember, be safe, guys.